Many times when we go through difficult times in life, many times our lives seems like we're going through the dark tunnel. Am I going to choose to trust God or whine and complain? I was on the way home from what I felt was the most successful missions trip I'd ever been on. And so I'm flying home, praising the Lord just for such blessings that He'd had given to us. And all of a sudden the thought came to me of, I wonder where the next spiritual battle's going to come from. And it kind of surprised me, like, why am I thinking about spiritual battles now in the midst of this victory? And I didn't have long to wait, because 3 days later, I was riding my bike, I was returning home from a long bike ride, and I got hit from behind by an automobile. Searing pain while I was in midair. There was searing pain through my back, reverberated through my back. And I knew this can't be good. Witnesses said that my head hit the asphalt about 8 times as I rolled on the asphalt. And I'm laying on the concrete, unable to move, and in incredible pain. And I knew that I have a choice right then. I knew that I could either complain, I could whine, God, why me? God, I'm doing all this good stuff for you, and if you let this bad thing happen, why me? Or was I going to choose to trust God in the middle of this darkness, in the middle of the pain and the suffering? And so I still remember I was laying in the middle of the road, all crumpled up, unable to move. And I said, Lord, symbolically, I'm raising my hands to you because I can't move. I said, my plans for the summer have just changed. They belong to you. And I found that over my experience with the Lord, our adversary always wants me to question the character of God, to question His love for me, to question His ability to be in charge, as it were. And so when I was struck by that car and my back was broken in multiple places, the temptation was to question the character of God. Does God really love me? If God really loved me, He would not have allowed this bad thing to happen. Surely God was strong enough to prevent that. And while the temptation was there, I knew that in a fallen world, bad things happen to people. And I knew that whining and complaining was not going to work, but I knew that trusting Him and not doubting His character in the darkness of my suffering, that I could hold on to His character. I could hold on to God loves me. God is in control. God has a plan for me. Even though it's not a plan I would have chosen, because of who He is, I could trust His plan more than my plan. Even when I didn't understand that He would work all things together for good. God was going to use the bad things as part of His plan for my life. And probably the greatest thing that I saw was I was sitting with my youngest son, who was about 9 years old at the time. And I was feeling badly that we couldn't have gone on any vacation this summer. And he looked at me in the eyes and he says, Dad, this was the best summer ever, all except that back-breaking part. And I thought, what in the world are you talking about? From his point of view, that summer, he needed a lot of attention from me, his dad. And he had a captive audience. I wasn't running away to a meeting. I wasn't involved in different activities. I was available to him for 9 solid weeks. And his memory was that this was the best summer ever. And so it just showed me that even in my dark times, that God was working it for good. And even in the life of this little 9-year-old, He was working it for good because I was choosing to trust the Lord. Just minister to my heart.